Let's come all together and live out in the field, and the field is everywhere that you make yourself real low. Let's come.
This was all fenced off, and now we're over this side. Leave the gate open. Yeah, this is from my local furniture shop. This is great, and I go around. The bike shop's pretty good, because most of the time with the bike shop boxes, you let them get wet, slip the edge, button them up, and off you go. And we started with just this. It was just brambles and all this patches of it here, you know, all the way up last spring. And we just come from there. Some charcoal. The charcoal's very important because that's biochar. You've heard about biochar. Well, they've been doing biochar for a long time. It's not a new thing like they try and make out. It's been Howard was doing it 100 years ago. But of course, they're saying on their videos, which we're going to make a lot of actually, we're just getting the equipment planned for next year, you've got to add it at like 50 tonnes an acre. Some huge amount. Well, no, I don't agree. You put a proportion of ash into compost, maybe 5%, and it changes the compost, it raises the pH, speeds up the heating, it makes it get hotter because of that. It helps it a lot, just 5%. But our video is going to be called Better Than Biochar, is you do put it in compost, but not at 50%. You put it in at like 10%. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, the effect it will have on the ground. But here, they've been burning plastic, fiberglass, anything that burns, and we've been using the ash, and we haven't found any bad results because it goes to an inorganic form. This is a heap of compost that's done agricultural style, no cutting of anything up, just put in a heap and left for 6 months. This will be here 6 months. This is a conventional agricultural style heap, because we'd like to run a farm one day. We'd like to run it on a farm scale to show a farmer how you can do this on a farm scale, which you require 18%, we calculate 18% of your farm is set aside for biomass production. And if you have that, then you'd need probably the best biomass producer, which is, as far as we can determine, Russian comfrey, and you can get up to, increasing over 3 or 4 years, 8 tonnes an acre. 8 tonnes an acre. So you can understand how you don't need so much of your farm as a fertilizer factory if you're not going to use any chemicals. This system came from China. What we've done is we've developed a box for this climate, which helps in any climate, because in the eastern countries it keeps the moisture in, right? In the west it keeps the rain out and keeps the moisture in, and it keeps the vermin out. Based on sawdust. So it's a very carboniferous thing. So therefore you can only add 3 bags per cubic metre to stay at the right balance, otherwise you get too much carbon, it slows the whole process down, which we'll witness later around the system. So that was finished, that was turned here with the box that was turned out there, and that was mixed together on the day that Oxfam came. We did that. So that is now 3 weeks old, that heap. From weeds to straw, here it all is. In fact, here it is. Let's show you. There's 7 ingredients, and the first one is carbon mixed with nitrogen. Right, so we don't have a shredder. Most people use a shredder, I'm sure. But you cut it all up like that, and it gets into about 4 or 5 inches long, if you can get it like that. And that enables the organisms to get in at each end of the crop. So it's easy to decompose it. Otherwise, things as tough as brambles would be there way after 30 days. So then you mix it with the straw. Here we are, we've got a 30% mix. So 30% mix, you've got to calculate 30% mix.
By volume?
Yeah, well, yeah, by volume, not by weight. All this is done by volume. So you get this, it goes in the new one. You leave some of it from before because that's obviously the inoculation from the previous heap. So I do this every morning this gets done, and it doesn't become an intensive thing you've got to do every 2 months, or you just do it every day. That's the magic mix, 30%. That's that. Then wood ash, you spread that in, a little bit each layer, just a fine film, calculate 5%, it's not very much. It's not accurate, it doesn't have to be accurate. No. But you've got your biochar in there. Right, then you've got earth, but your urine is simply added to the earth, like that. It doesn't smell if you do it like that, and it gives the best effect you can get from urine. If you use it as an irrigation for plants, there's all sorts of complications that can arise. The mix, the effect that it's too strong for some plants. You have to have different dilutions, and they keep doing all these tests internationally, all these big groups. But the real best way to treat urine, and a very good way to get rid of it fast, is into earth, because you don't need to store it. You do not want to store urine. Urine in earth, how we'd call it, is the base. It forms a base in the compost. It's very, very good. And then there's dung, previous dung, which you don't need if you're using human waste. You don't have to have it, but it's an ingredient that has to go in one way or the other. And of course, so you've got 7 ingredients, and that's all you do. You just have to put them in like that, and you end up with a box like this. Now this one, we're going to see it. It's finished. It's been standing a week. It stands for a week. This is its second week. So it's built for 1 week and stand for a week. And while it's standing, you build the other one. So you can go on, and a pair of these boxes will sanitise the waste from 42 houses. In South Africa, Edso Gori came up here, who gave the big permaculture thing on his layout and design. He came straight here after that convergence, and he's filming this, and he said, yes, this would be brilliant in South Africa. After being at 55 to 65 for a week, it drops naturally. This is the whole thing with Howard Higgins compost. And the mistake that the industrial composters make is they invest in huge machines to turn the windrows, and they keep turning it, keep the heat up. There's no particular time scale they give, but keep it up as long as you can. Not correct, because when it drops, you get a natural cessation of one fungus and another one starts.
I mean, I noticed you're roughly about a cubic yard there.
Well, no less.
No less.
How our friend Bob Reed agreed 12 years ago that, having travelled the world, seeing all sorts of systems, a cubic yard was the minimum, or a yard at least in area, because it doesn't have to. The higher you get, the hotter it gets, sort of thing. So with a metre, it's a metric size. So we're just sticking with that, and it's a good size for any sort of large garden. Because it's like 3 weeks. It's been still a little active, you can see. But interesting. So let's just have a look. See, it looks very hot, and the people think, why do you turn it now? It's still cooking. You see, this is newspaper.
Gosh.
Why are you turning it now? But you do because you want to get this other fungus going. And Howard's system of it turning, over the prescribed time, is what he was awarded £6 million for doing, amongst other his plant breeding work and all the rest of it. Develop this system, and that's what you do.
Are Howard's books still in print?
No, well, not this one.
Oh, right,
One we've got is not available anywhere, only from us. One is for better if it's mixed. You see, so there's a bit there that's not composted.
So, and this is 2 weeks old, this pod?
Yeah, this is just 2 weeks old. So the point is, you're trying to get air into it at this stage.
Yeah.
Because air is the whole thing. It enables the aerobic azotobacters, for one, to operate at a full capacity. You see? So that's how it does look. If that's how it looks, I've got a lot of sawdust in here, you can see. But the fungus has gone throughout the heat. You see the fungus?
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Say for whatever reason, we didn't turn it off for a couple of weeks. what's going to happen to sour sort of 3-4 weeks?
Well, it just means you're missing out on the optimum process. It will still work.
When I see cat shit in my garden now, I'm going to have a slightly different view of it. Yeah. I'll still chase the buggers out, but
Whatever, it's very simple to work it out. But what you do is you've got this, and this comes off, and you have one of these.
Can I give you a ring when I get home?
You put one of these, you put that in your toilet.
biodegradable
This
plastic.
is what we've
of course.
ordered for Haiti. This is what's going to Haiti. This is a
Compost.
company in Devon,
Right, oh, I
Somerset.
see, right, yeah.
Gotta go.
These go in here. Just put that in there, like that. That's your toilet. The lid goes on there, like that. And that is a camping loo. We sold these already. And your medium is just weeds, grass, anything you can get. Doesn't smell. In a fixed situation, your finished compost from that bin would be in a bucket with a scoop, right? And that's your finished compost. So we've got a lady in Somerset who's got this in her bedroom. Her husband's an ex-war veteran, can't get to the bathroom. It's in a cupboard, and she says there's no smell in the house, no vent pipe, nothing. Unbelievable. And she's got the best garden in Somerset. The permaculture course go round to her garden to see the growing.
It's been well manured.
So then basically, yes.
Yeah, we've got, yeah.
So in Haiti they have 12 of those on one of these double pallets.
Well, we were taking the latrines from
Yeah.
the units we built
Yes.
to the compost
Yeah,
pallets.
yes, yeah.
But my new design is on film 3, which is on there, you'll see that as well. That is where you have a toilet built over the compost heap on rails or on wheels,
Yes.
and it gets moved every sort of hour, like this.
You're right.
And there's no toilet, it's just an open toilet over a compost heap with a screen around it and a tarpaulin. And the guy just rakes over, chucks on the waste as it comes in from other buckets, leaves, and it does not smell. Unbelievable. And you can have that right in the middle of a refugee camp, because you build it first when you design the refugee camp, so you don't have all these people having to walk miles and can't find it, can't be bothered. Do you know what they do if they can't be bothered? They go in a plastic bag and sling it. There, it could go anywhere. And we were worried at our conference that we're going to come over the wall, because our camp was right there, and we've been around warning them first. Because we found these bags in the garden when we started, and it wasn't biodegradable bags. Absolutely. So this is the problems you get in refugee camps if you're not organised. But there you go, and that's it, and that's 50 quid, that one. And there you go. Take that, you get something like this, and that'll last you. And that bag is gone in the heat, disappeared within 14 days.
So what's the bag made of?
It's biodegradable plastic
Right.
with enough ingredients to last outside the heat for compost for at least 2 weeks with waste in it. I use it for the kitchen waste, that's how I tested it.
Yeah.
I put kitchen waste in it for 2 weeks and the bag was okay. As soon as I put it in the compost heat, gone. So it's all about heat that makes it, and time.
Let's come all together and live out in the field, and the field is everywhere that you make yourself real. Oh, let's come all together and live out in the field, and the field is everywhere that you make yourself real. Oh, let's come all together and live out in the field, and the field is everywhere that you make yourself realize. Say the world is a process that we're going through. It's all a field, my friends, that we must tend to.